All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Apologize for the delay. Had some other stuff going on, ran over time, so I apologize for that off the top. We're going to do our best to get the show, bring you guys the winners, and hopefully pad your pockets tonight on this Friday here, July 12th. I got my guy Hamwich like I do every Monday and Friday. Hamwich, what's going on, brother? Happy Friday, man.
Yeah, happy Friday. Looking to talk some winners, and man, we got a loaded pitching slate today. And if you're not a left-handed pitcher, you best not apply, because we got some elite lefties on the bump tonight and some elite righties as well. So should be an interesting slate to talk through.
Yeah, should be a good slate. And I can probably say off the top here that it's one of the only slates in a while that I didn't have too much interest very much at all below 8K range here. You named it. We're gonna break through it or talk through it here. Loaded pitching slate at the top, a lot of top-end arms in good spots, and overall pretty relatively fairly priced matchups. Obviously, 12 games on the slate. There is a lot of weather to talk about. I'm going to do my best to talk through it. Our guy Roth over there is going to update weather throughout the show, I'm sure. Obviously, we don't take credit for that, and I'm not a meteorologist. I just follow what others in the industry spend their time and energy doing. So we'll talk through that as we go. We're going to talk pitching. We're going to talk hitting. Before we do, throw this up on the screen here. We do have an NFL-only early bird special, lowest all-in rates for NFL. NFL shortly right around the corner. Throw it up on the screen. You can see it there. We're running $299 all access to NFL. One caveat to that, if you do click the banner at the top, if you're not a member and you get in for NFL, you get the next month and a half for free for all sports as a no additional price added there. As you see it right there, early bird bonus, free all access until NFL starts. So it's not just the cheapest across the industry for the NFL package alone. You also get an added bonus of about $120, right? 2 months, little under 2 months for all access. So if you're looking to find your NFL home, we hope you find it here. If not, you use us as well here. But we're very certain we got you covered for everything you need to have success in the NFL season. Had an incredible season last year, multiple Millie Maker winners, live final, everything. We've had tons of screenshots, showdown. We got you covered for everything there. So I did want to throw that up. Head over to SHIPIT Nation. Click on the banner at the top. We'll take you right to use that promo code. If not, use that promo code NFL50. We'll definitely take that and bring that rate down for you. So wanted to hit that off the top there. A little marketing play for us. Now's the time if you're looking for NFL. NFL is going to be here before you know it. And definitely check that out there. But how much? Throw it over to you, man. We're going to talk pitching. I want to talk to a couple guys at the top end. Number one, down at the lower 8K range. We're going to go 8K and above, like I said. Touch on Cole Ragans, Sean Manaea. Both of those two are going to pick up a decent amount of ownership. Very fair price points, solid matchups. It is good weather there in Boston and in New York there, but pretty solid matchups. Red Sox have struggled versus left-handed pitching. Ragans has looked great. Rockies have struggled against everybody pitching for the most part. Sean Manaea has been very good at home. Touch on those two. And then at the top tier, Garrett Crochet, probably the chalk of the slate here, gets a matchup against the Pirates at home there in Chicago. And then a little bit below that, you got Joe Ryan, you got Freddie Peralta. I think those 5 arms right there that I just listed are very, very good. I like all of them a lot. Ownership, I'm not really worried about outside of maybe Garrett Crochet's ownership, but his ownership I do think is warranted with this matchup and how he's looked, especially at home this season. Touch on this top tier for me, very loaded range here.
Yeah, man, this range is dynamite. I can't believe I'll start with my favorite pitcher of the slate, and I can't believe he's $8,500. Cole Reagan's going into Fenway to take on these Red Sox. So you just look over their last 14 and their last 30 days against left-handed pitching. They've just been absolutely abysmal. And at $8,500, almost a $3,000 savings off of Crochet. I'm sorry, about a little less than 2,000. 10-3 down to 8-5. I mean, Cole Reagan's, to me, is far and away a better play than Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet is still a great play in his own right, but I'm going to take the savings of $1,800. I'm going to go down to Cole Reagan's will be my SP1 on the slate tonight. Really like him. Next up for me would be Freddie Peralta, $9,700 against this Nats team. This Nats team is not very good. They got some decent players at the top of the lineup, but man, once you start to get into the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range, it kind of gets a little weak. So don't mind Freddie Peralta striking out 30% from both sides of the plate. Garrett Crochet, I mean, obviously is a great play. Just strikes out over 30% of the righties. Going to face a bunch of Pirate righties, so I don't mind him. And Sonny Gray, to me, Nades, is kind of getting left out in the shuffle. He's playing the Cubs, not getting much hype, not projected too well, but he's 10-2. But this Cubs team is not very good, striking out 25% or 24% against righties over the last 15 and 30 days. And I know they had a good night last night in Baltimore, but at super low ownership, I don't mind Sonny Gray at 10-2. I would have him, right in that Garrett Crochet range for me. But for me, it's Reagan's number one for sure. And then, 2 through 5 are all interchangeable in my opinion.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. I do want to hit on the weather because Sean Manaea, which I have a decent amount of ownership in, or a decent amount of interest, in Sean Manaea. Roth does have that game tagged as yellow-orange, so you do have to monitor that game. That's pretty much the only game you have to really worry about in terms of main slate pitching. That Kansas City-Boston game should be pretty good. He's got it yellow-green, so should be good there. That New York-Baltimore game, we're not going to play pitchers. At least I'm not playing pitchers from that game. I don't have any interest in Garrett Cole or any interest in a guy named Cade Povich there. So we'll hit on that. But those are the kind of the weather games. So there is some weather concerns in that Sean Manaea game. I still think he's a great play. He's going to be one of the highest owned pitchers on the slate, probably 2 or 3. Currently projected to be the second highest owned pitcher. But my favorite pitcher, I'm in lockstep with Ham. Feels good to be in Hamwich's camp here. Cole Reagan's way too cheap. He's $2,000 too cheap here, in my opinion. This Boston team, despite the good hitting weather there in Fenway tonight, I think it's in the 80s there, some slight winds, 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left center. But, hey, got to put the bat on the baseball. And these Red Sox have struggled against left-handed pitching all season long. Cole Reagan's has looked elite. He's, like I said, way too cheap, $8,500. And he's going to be not one of the lowest owned guys, but I think Freddie Peralta comes in higher owned than him, Sean Manaea, Garrett Crochet. So ownership in relative to the slate, I think Cole Reagan's is my favorite SP1 on the entire slate. Garrett Crochet, I already talked on him. Think he's a great play, 10-3. If you can get up to him, I would love it. One guy that you didn't hit on that I have a ton of interest in, I think he gets lost in the shuffle as well. He's sandwiched between Sonny Gray. He's sandwiched between Freddie Peralta. Some people are – Sonny Gray is going to pick up some ownership, projected to be right around 15 to 20% owned right now. And then Freddie Peralta going to be 25 to 30% owned, projected right now. It's Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan gets a matchup against these Giants out in San Fran where we like to play pitchers. If you look across the temperatures, right across the slate, 64 degrees, dropping into the low 60s, upper 50s by the end of that game. Very, very good pitcher's park there. And Joe Ryan has as much upside, I think, as anybody on this slate here. I get it. This Giants team doesn't strike out a ton, but there's still some guys in this lineup up near 30% strikeouts. Heliot Ramos, despite the heater that he's been on the last month, still strikes out a ton against right-handed pitching. I like Heliot Ramos much more against lefties. So I do have a ton of interest in Joe Ryan. He's probably my second favorite pitcher up in this top tier just because I think he comes in lower owned than the guys around him. And I think he has just as much upside, if not more upside, and it's a great pitcher's park there. So do have a lot of interest in Joe Ryan. I'm with you on Freddie Peralta. I like Freddie Peralta a ton. I noted it in the slate plan over here. This Nationals team, especially at the back half of that lineup, has more strikeouts than usual in this lineup than what we're or what we saw last year, and we currently or what we saw earlier this season as well. Freddie Peralta, obviously, when I play Freddie, it's typically at home. He's much better at home. I love the Brewers bats behind him. Should have the run support, 9,700, fair price. So I'm with you there. So up in this top tier, it's really Reagan's number 1 for me. Joe Ryan 2. I'll go Freddie 3, Crochet 4, just due to the price there, and Sean Manaea 5, just because I'm not the biggest Sean Manaea guy. He has looked great. I think he picks up a ton of ownership just because anybody kind of blindly clicks any pitcher that has a pulse against this Rockies team. So I'm putting him 5th, but I love all 5 of those. And ideally, I would like to pair 2 of those guys together up at this top tier on my teams here tonight. Jumping down, hitting on the rest of the slate here below 8K, which I'm going to throw out 2 names for you. First name I'm going to throw out is Carson Spires. Hit on him at 7K, gets a matchup against these fish out of the water, who, mind you, are going to pick up a decent amount of ownership in terms of the bats, which is kind of crazy to me, but they get the park upgrade going into Cincinnati. Spires got hit around pretty bad his last start, right? Gave up, 3 home runs, I believe. So hit on him, and then hit on any of these other guys you have interest in down here. A Cooper Criswell, maybe, any of these other guys down here at the lower tier. Personally, I don't have a ton of interest in down here. Maybe an Andrew Heaney, just kind of super low owned against these Astros that struggle against left-handed pitching. Heaney's look good, but man, it gets gross down here pretty quick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if we really needed to dip down in here. One name that I'll mention that you didn't. I mean, Carson Spires would be my favorite of the bunch down here, just based off 3 out of his 5 games. He's gone above 16 DraftKings points. I don't have a ton of interest in Yardo Rodriguez, but I actually have some interest in the Diamondbacks. But in his last 2 outings, against the Mariners, which obviously they struggled last week against righties and struck out a bunch. He had a really good game against them, but the game before that, he had a really good game against the Astros as well at home. And so I think he might get some ownership at $6,700. Like I said, I won't be going there. Carson Spires is okay. We really did. I know he's above 8K, but Hunter Brown, we didn't mention Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown has been absolutely dynamite, for the better half of the last 2 months. He just gets a tough strikeout matchup against that Rangers team, but I wouldn't mind him if you wanted to go there. But yeah, it's tough down there, Nades. I think most of the people will be doing this as well as, playing the, Brown and above, 8,200 and above. I don't see many people dipping down into that, bargain bin tonight anyway.
Yeah, I do. If I were to pick one, I would be with you there on Carson Spires just due to the matchup. I don't care about the ballpark, really. Spires really gets tagged by lefties. I think he should only see 3 lefties, 6 righties in this lineup. At least the projected lineup, I didn't see their confirmed lineup out yet. So that's a boost to him. 7K allows you to get up to some of those big Yankees bats that you want to play, right? Some of those big, expensive Brewers bats. We're going to talk about that. The Mets I like a little bit. Obviously, the Reds there as well have some expensive bats. Ellie, the list goes on and on there that people want to play for. So he's probably my favorite down here. Andrew Heaney, I think, second, just due to what I alluded to in the slate plan over here. I mean, the Astros are going to have their typical 4 righties in there that just don't strike out, right? Your Altuves, your Bregmans. But the rest of them, I mean, aren't really, I mean, there is some strikeouts in there more than typically we've seen with this Astros team. And I think if I had to pick a guy, I would be Heaney, but I'm definitely Carson Spires over Heaney. Ownership doesn't matter down here. None of these guys are really going to get played much. So wouldn't hate that. I just lean to target in Miami more than I lean to target in the Astros. But if Singleton's in there, he's 30+% strikeouts. Jordan struggled a little bit against lefties as well in terms of strikeouts. So wouldn't hate it. But yeah, Spires is pretty much the only guy I have interest in down here for the most part. Maybe a Schwallenbach against the Padres, but they just don't strike out either. So gets rough quick. Overall, that's a lot of words to say. It's a spend-up slate for me at pitching, and then I'm assuming you're the same. So, Hamwich, go ahead and give the people your top 5 before we go game by game here and talk hitting.
Yeah, certainly will. Number 1 for me, Cole Reagans, hands down, my favorite pitcher on the slate tonight. 2 would be Freddie Peralta. 3 would be Sonny Gray. 4 would be Garrett Crochet. And I'm going to say Hunter Brown is 5 for me. I'm full fading Sean Manaea tonight. I think he's going to garner some ownership, and Chalk Manaea, no thank you. I do have some interest in the Rockies we'll talk about here in a second.
Yeah, Sean Manaea is at least projected to be the second highest owned pitcher on the slate right now behind Garrett Crochet. So take that for what it's worth. I'm going to be with you. Cole Reagan's my SP1. My SP2, Joe Ryan. Just think he gets lost in the shuffle. Like him quite a bit. I'll throw in a cheap guy for everybody. Carson Spires. Looking at this Miami lineup, I'll hit on that when we talk hitters. But there is a lot of strikeouts, especially in that top half there. 7K. I think he makes a lot of work. If you needed a punt pitching, I don't mind going down to him. Freddie Peralta will be 4 for me, and then Garrett Crochet, just due to the salary price point and 45 to 50+% ownership on a 12-game slate here, would be number 5, rounding out my top 5 for me. How much? Let's jump and talk hitting here. We're going to go first game into Camden Yards here. We're going to talk the Yankees and the Orioles. My favorite stack on the board comes from this game here. You get a guy by the name of Cade Povich, who below average strikeouts, gets hit very hard here, and has some of the best lefty hitters in baseball in Aaron Judge. J.D. Davis, the splits guy, is projected to be in there. I don't see the confirmed lineup out. Jose Trevino, Jones, the young kid there. I love these Yankees quite a bit. Good hitting weather in Baltimore as well. There is weather concerns in this game, but I think bats, for the most part, should be pretty fine. Obviously, we're going to have to monitor that as it gets close to lock, but I do like the Yankees a ton here on this slate. One of my favorite stacks on the board.
Yeah, no, for sure. They'll be popular tonight. Povich pitching like Mari Povich hasn't been good. The A's roughed him up pretty good. This part does limit damage to right-handed hitters, so I'm going to be a little lower than most on the Yankees tonight. Obviously, you can play Judge as a one-off. It would be Judge as a one-off, Soto as a one-off, or I would just do a mini with those two, which obviously they're both very expensive, so it'd be tough to do that. But I'm not going to full stack these Yankees tonight. I don't think you need to. It's a Judge one-off or Soto one-off, like I mentioned. And then I'm always on these O's. I feel like at home, they just pound righties with their left-handed bats. I mean, hit a ton of bombs. They've gotten to Garrett Cole. Now, granted, it was his first game back, but off the IL, first game of the season, but they hit him up pretty good. I think for not him total, but I think in that game they got 8 or 9 runs. No, it looks like they got 7 runs in that game. But Garrett Cole is back to his form, though. Nades threw at 96 his last time out. Yeah, probably won't full stack the O's just because Garrett's probably rounded into form. I think this is his 5th or 6th start, but definitely wouldn't hate it if you wanted to go O's to be different, but won't be full stacking them for sure.
Great breakdown. Anytime one of the more popular teams, you can definitely be fine to be underweight. But, I mean, for me, what I'm seeing is 2 teams kind of at the top end, which are 2 offenses that I don't have any interest in realistically in maybe outside of one-offs in Miami and Toronto from what I'm looking at. The Yankees are going to be right around about 5 other teams that are all within a couple percentage points. So, again, enough good spots, enough pitchers to attack that I don't think we see crazy ownership on the Yankees. And the Yankees have won me a ton of money. Obviously, Aaron Judge, love him, absolutely love him. Juan Soto, I think, is going to be pretty low owned, lefty. Gets into that bullpen. I think he's fine there. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. You got some cheap guys at the back that allow you to double spend up at pitcher too, which is nice. So I do like the Yankees a little bit more than you do, it sounds. And then on the O's, you can always play Gunnar Henderson, but realistically, there's much worse pitchers to pick on than Garrett Cole. Despite how he's looked on the road this season, just not a spot that I feel like full stacking. Just one off Gunnar Henderson if I get there. Jump into the next game here. We head to another a game where it's solid hitting weather. One of the best hitting weathers on the slate here. It's in Fenway. Cooper Criswell on the mound. Cole Reagans, we absolutely loved. Cole Reagans at both of our SP1 on this slate. So realistically, no interest in any of these Red Sox for me. Their confirmed lineup is out there. 30% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching, as I alluded to earlier, over the course of the season at home. So absolutely zero interest in the Red Sox. On the Royals, I think the Royals are definitely in play against Criswell. Criswell has been pretty good at home, but again, you got some big power fly ball guys here in the lineup for the Royals in good hitting park, good hitting weather there, guaranteed 9th inning at bats. I have some interest in the Royals, not one of my top 5, but again, I think there's probably 8 to 10 teams on the slate that I won't be surprised to see any of the 5-man stacks from those teams be on the winner, and the Royals definitely fall into that category.
Yeah, no Red Sox for us. I mean, they've just been abysmal. So, yeah, we'll just go to the Royals. They've been pretty good over the last 2 weeks versus righties. Criswell's first start in about a month coming off the IL. So, should be limited. And the A's did pretty good against this Red Sox pitching staff. Got into that bullpen outside of last night. They scored, I think, double digits one night, I think 8 or 9 the other. So, hey, they're going to need Criswell to go long, and he may not be able to do that. I like this Royals team as more of a mini. I would have Bobby Witt in there at some point. But, yeah, don't mind this Royals team. And then no Red Sox for me. They did spice up their lineup a little bit tonight, Nades, and put Duran number 2, but still no interest for me. Not even Ref Snyder as a one-off up top.
Yeah, Duran number 2, lefty. I'll leave that for someone else playing 6K. If I'm paying 6K there, I'm going to find $700 and get up to Aaron Judge himself. So, yeah, no Red Sox for me. Royals, I'm with you there. Prefer it more as a mini stack just due to these price points. But overall, I mean, you look at these prices, $3,400 for Renfroe, Melendez, $35, Massey, $41. I mean, there's stolen base upside in here too, and you got some cheap bats. You can 5-man stack this Royals team and spend up a pitching, which, again, is the route that I want to go here tonight. So Royals, a little bit more interest than when I originally looked, I think, here as well. And, hey, I got a soft spot for the Royals, so it doesn't take much for me to want to play this Kansas City. But where do I want to play them? In another good hitting park there in Fenway with 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards that green monster in left.
No rain there either, Nate? No rain in Boston?
Roth said he thinks the storms, there's storms around the ballpark right now. He thinks it's going to be fine, and they're going to late start it and just play the whole game. So should be good there. Obviously, we're going to have to monitor that, but I'm not playing pitching. Pitching there for the most part outside of Reagan's, and if they late start it, should be good. So definitely need to monitor it, obviously there. Heading out to Cincinnati from Fenway, another good hitting park here. 2 of the most popular teams on the entire slate. The chalk of the slate right now, at least projected, is this Miami Marlins team with a team strikeout over 24% and a team ISO at 129 on the road this year against right-handed pitching. Carson Spires, everyone's looking at the game log. He gave up 3 bombs last game, got hit around, but before that, he was pretty decent. He struggles versus lefties. He's going to see 3 lefty right now. So the Marlins actually did put more lefties in here. Bruhan is in there, switch hitter, Gordon, Sanchez, Josh Bell, and Xavier Edwards and Chisholm. So they did load up more lefties in here. Obviously some switch hitters in there, but still, I'm not going to play a chalky Marlins team on a 12-game slate. I don't think they're good offense, so I'm going to be underweight for sure on the Marlins. Just a mini stack one-off in Jazz Chisholm or Jesus Sanchez. And then the Reds, I like the Reds. I like the lefties here against this character here in Yonny Chirinos. Just has no ability to strike out any of these lefties, gets hit pretty hard. So I have more interest in the Reds. I think mini stacks more for me on the Reds side, but I'll throw it over to you. What's your interest here in Great American Small Park?
Yeah, we saw it last Sunday. I was all over the Marlins against the Phillies. I think it was the Phillies or somebody on Sunday. Might have been the Mets. But anyway, hey, Marlins chalk is never a good thing, Nades. And they're chalky tonight. I'm no interest in them. A little bit of interest in Spears. But, yeah, this Reds team, Chirinos is terrible. The Rays didn't want him. Now he's been on the Marlins. Hasn't been very good. I think you could stack this Reds team. Just looking at the confirmed lineup, re-sign, starting to steal some bases down there in the 8-hole if you needed to get this some salary. But I don't mind this Reds team, and definitely no Marlins for me. Jazz hit a couple bombs, but yeah, I'm not going there. Chalky Marlins, no thank you. Reds minis only for me. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I like the lefties for sure. And looks like the Reds had 5 lefties in here, 4 lefties from what I'm seeing, right? Ellie, Candelario, obviously switch hitter there, Fraley, and Will Benson, who I like down there. So, hey, maybe a little Reese Hines, Will Benson, wrap it around Ellie, Candelario, and then find a 4th guy or a 5th guy to throw in there. Stevenson coming off the double dong there. I don't mind the Reds. I prefer it more as a mini stack though. Like I said, maybe like a 9-2 stack, Ellie, Will Benson stack. Middles that salary down a little bit from that $6,400 price point when you throw in a $3,300 guy with him. So, definitely with you there. No Marlins for me. I'm just not going to play a chalky fish out of the water here, personally. Jumping to Chicago here. this is a game that I think we can speed up the pace here. I don't have a lot of interest, if any, at all from the bat side. If I were to pick a side, it would obviously be some of these White Sox, maybe a Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn. But realistically, a game that it's crochet or a pass for me here in this one.
Yep, it's crochet, and then it's a one-off with Robert, Jimenez, somebody like that. Sosa if you need to get dirt cheap. But, yeah, no, not full game in this one.
All right, excellent. Let's head out to another game where I don't have a lot of interest in bats. I think this is more solid real-life game than a DFS game here. If I had to pick a bat, it'd probably be a Corey Seager against Hunter Brown here. Hunter Brown's been great. This Rangers offense is pretty deadly. They're starting to hit the ball a little bit more. Adolis Garcia is still struggling, but nonetheless, still a good offense. And then Astros don't really strike out a lot, but Heaney, not really a guy that I want to pick on too much here, despite the Houston and their price points. I mean, I think this is a game that I'm going to hope it's a real-life 3-1 style game, and I think that's where I'm leaning. So another game I don't have a lot of interest in at all from a bats, certainly not a five-man stack perspective.
Yeah, it looks like Alvarez is still out. I didn't see him go to the IL, but maybe he did. I know he left the game early. He's not in the projected lineup. That obviously weakens this lineup a little bit. And, yeah, I'm with you. Not going to full stack it. Hunter Brown's been very, very good. No Yordan, not going to stack them. Hopefully it's a 4-2, 3-1 type game, and we can move to the next one.
Yeah, we can move to the next one, which is a good one from one side. The Brewers, it's not a homer take. It's just a take that this Jackson Rutledge kid is just not any good. Obviously, we've only had very limited sample size there on him on the road this season. But this Brewers team, kind of a cheat code right now. They're kind of what I talked about with the Royals early on in the season. They're one of the most aggressive teams in baseball, and then they got the power on the back of guys like Willy Adames, Yelich, Contreras, Rhys Hoskins. They got my guy Garrett Mitchell back in the lineup now. He came off the IL. Good to see him back there. Power speed combination lefty there. I love these Brewers here. I don't think they get much ownership at all. I'm seeing very, very low ownership on this Milwaukee side. Give me some of these Brewers here tonight. Friday night, I'm going to Milwaukee. Probably my second favorite stack on the board behind the Yankees personally from what I'm looking at. And then no Nationals against Freddie Peralta. You can always play C.J. Abrams, but I just think there's much better teams to even pick off one-offs from than the Nationals here personally.
Yeah, you nailed it. This pitcher for Washington, Rutledge, been brutal in his limited sample in the bigs, but even bad down in the AAA. I think it's right around 21% strikeout rate, not very good. Over I think double digits barrel percentage. So yeah, these Brewers, went off the other night against the Pirates. I think they can do it again. I like Bryce Terang if he's batting leadoff like he's been normally doing. I know Churrio's been up there recently, but yeah, Terang, Contreras, Yelich, Adames, give me those guys up top. You could full five-man them as well, and no Nats for me. Yeah,
the best part about the Brewers is they steal bases, which is good, and their power hitters are surrounded by cheap lefties, right, or cheap hitters that also steal bases. So it doesn't take much, right, for a Chourio, Monasterio, a Sal Frelick, those guys that are 34, 38, 2,500, Garrett Mitchell, 3,200. I mean, they get on base. They're going to – good chance they might swipe a bag or two, and those points add up quickly and makes the overall stack very affordable on a double spend-up slate for me from a pitcher standpoint. So and I don't see the ownership going there. So I love the Brewers here tonight quite a bit. Let's head to the next game here. I think this game for sure gets a decent amount of ownership, at least on one side, and I tend to agree. I will stack against Kyle Hendricks always. I don't think Hendricks is going to go very long at all, but still, nonetheless, I like these Cardinals quite a bit here. On one side, Lars Nootbaar, Gorman. I like the guys at the back half, wrap it around to the Goldies, the Contrerases, the Burlesons of the world, Mason Wynn, kind of a stolen base machine there so far this season. I like these Cardinals a decent amount. They are going to be one of the chalkier teams, top 3, top 4 owned stacks of the board. So take that for what it's worth. But I don't think Hendricks is going to be go very long. But hopefully they take him early, and some of the worst relievers come in from Chicago there. No interest in the Cubs against Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray scuffled a little bit. Still think there's much better pitchers to pick on with better offenses than going to Chicago side here.
Yeah, hey, just real quick, the Yankees lineup came out. The ageless wonder DJ LeMahieu leading off, so he'll be super popular because he's super cheap, especially in cash games. But yeah, no thank you on LeMahieu. But yeah, going into this game, no interest in the Cubs bats. I do like Sonny Gray some, and then Kyle Hendricks. Hey, he was rocking and rolling. Then his last two starts, -5, -2. Should be more of the same. I think the Cardinals come in higher owned than we anticipate. Kyle Hendricks is just not any good anymore. Only threw 43 pitches his last time out. So, hey, this Cardinals team, you said it, they're stealing bases. Maybe a little combination of Cardinals and Brewers. That NL Central might be in the winter tonight. But yeah, no Cubs bats, and I'm fully considering 5-man stack in this Cardinals lineup for sure.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals come in higher owned than the Yankees, to be honest. Just looking at it here, I mean, you got overall pretty cheap. You got a 2,100 guy there at the back half that just doesn't strike out much either in Ciani. That makes it really cheap. I really like the wraparound stack, the Newt Bars, the Gormans. I like those lefties down there at the bottom. So, yeah, I like the Cardinals. They're not one of my top 3, but I definitely have them in my top 5 or 6 on the slate for sure. Wrote them up in the slate plan, I believe, as well. If not, they just missed the slate plan there. Obviously, with 24 teams to write up there, trying to keep it pretty precise there over here at SHIPIT Nation there. So, yeah, I'm with you. Cardinals, no Cubs for me. Couple games left. If you guys haven't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton here. Again, apologize for running a couple minutes late to start the show here, but we're making up some time. When you got a loaded pitching slate at the top, you're going to have some games where you just don't have a lot of interest in from a bats perspective. This next one, I don't have much interest from a bats perspective as well. Just don't typically like playing too many teams out here in LA when you got good weather across the Midwest and the upper East Coast early on. Once you start getting out west to Anaheim here, not a lot of interest for me on either side. Mariners did their thing last night here. Are you going back to the well, Hamwich, with any of these Mariners against Tyler Anderson? Brian Wu on the mound, no Angel, no real interest from either side of this game for me personally from a stacks perspective.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about Brian Wu, and he's been dynamite all season. It's his first start coming off the IL. So I don't like Wu just because – I don't like the way the Mariners, do their pitchers. That they'll probably let him go 60 or 70, then yank him. But he's a good real life pitcher, so no interest in these Angels bats. And then, man, Tyler Anderson coming off a 10K performance, going up against this Mariners team that's been smacking the ball around in LA or Anaheim, whatever you want to call it, in the last 2 nights. I think they put up 11 last night. But Tyler Anderson's been better, and this Mariners team strikes out in droves versus righties. Been a little bit better against lefties. Hey, but Tyler Anderson's been better as well. I think there's better offenses. I'm with you. Better weather, better parks to hit in. So no interest in either one of these games or teams to stack.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's head to the next game. We got 3 games left to talk about here. I do have interest in this next game here on one side. Anytime you can get this offense pretty low owned against a pitcher who just doesn't strike anybody out, you're going to have me interested in here. I love some of these lefty Braves for me, and then stack around them. I like Atlanta quite a bit here. The park's not great, but nonetheless, I think it's fine. Braves are getting things rolling as well. Kelenic jumping in that leadoff spot. Really love him if he's still hitting there. Ozzie, Matt Olson, Eddie Rosario if he's in there. The lefties first for me, and then can play Marcell Ozuna. He has begun to fall into the category of it doesn't matter who he's playing. Anytime he's on there, the way he's playing this season, he's got a 355 ISO on the road against right-handed pitching. I like these Braves. Braves are going to be super low owned here tonight as well, which is always nice. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. But on the Padres side, not a ton of interest in the Padres outside of Cronenworth. Cronenworth is playing great baseball right now, hitting the ball well, hitting for power too. Can tag up Schwallenbach a little bit, but I think Schwallenbach is a pretty studly prospect. He's been solid outside of a shaky start here or there. So not a lot of interest in the Padres side as a full stack, just a Cronenworth one-off or a Jackson Merrill one-off. But outside of that, not getting there on the Padres.
Yeah, you nailed it. No Padres for me, no one-offs. And then this Braves team, I mean, they do have some power sticks over there. Vasquez has been pretty putrid, especially against lefties. hey, we don't like the park, but we like the ownership, we like the game theory aspect of the Braves. Certainly don't mind those lefties, Kellenic, Albies, Matt Olson, people like that.
Yeah, no, we're in lockstep there. 2 games left to talk about here. This next one, probably the second highest owned team right now, at least projected wise, on the slate behind the Fish. Another not a great offense by any means. I do have some interest in a Horwitz and a Vlad Guerrero if they're hitting 2-3 as a mini stack. But outside of that, I'm not 5-man stacking a chalky Blue Jays team. It would just be a Horwitz or a Vlad, play him at second base, and then play Vlad at first, obviously. Against Reed Nelson here, just a bad pitcher on the hill. But it's a bad offense against a bad pitcher and a chalky offense by that means. So just Horwitz, just Vlad, one-offs or a 2-man stack there for me. And then on the D-back side, I actually probably have a little bit more interest in the D-backs at significantly lower ownership against Yariel Rodriguez than I do in this Blue Jays squad. But, again, not a spot in a park that I want a full 5-man stack either of these teams in for sure.
Yeah, Blue Jays chalk is another one that scares me, similar to the Marlins. Nelson's typically worse against left-handed hitters, so a lot of those, big boppers for the Jays, Vlad, Springer, Bichette are all righties, obviously. So it would be the lefties, Horwitz, Dalton Varsho, people like that. But yeah, I'm not playing the chalky Blue Jays. And then I'm with you. I think the Diamondbacks, for me, they're one of my top 3 favorite stacks tonight. I really like the lefties tonight against Rodriguez. I said earlier how he's had 2 really good starts. I think he comes back down to earth tonight. I think the D-backs tag him for 10 runs, 10-plus runs tonight. The D-backs are top 3 favorite stack. I think they win the game outright as well.
Yeah, over the last 30 days, he's got a 20% walk rate to lefties too. So you start walking guys, they start stealing bases. We know Arizona's no stranger to wanting to steal bags, swiping bags. And then a gapper scores guys, scores 2 runs, even a single scores a run. You can manufacture runs, and then obviously you get the long ball there too. So I don't hate it. He is a ground ball guy, at least over the last 30 days. And over the course of this season and last season, especially the ground balls to lefties. So if you were to play those lefties, I would look at the fly ball guys. Alec Thomas if he's in there, Jack Peterson if he's in there. But Corbin Carroll is not really a fly ball guy, typically a ground ball guy. But hey, if he can walk and manufacture, get on base, he's going to swipe. So I'm a little bit lower on the D-backs than you are. I think mini stacks more, Christian Walker, Jack Peterson, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, like those guys at the top half. And then Alec Thomas, if he's in that lineup at 2,900, he's a very, very good value play there. He can hit for power. He's always done me well. I typically play him quite a bit, usually against my Milwaukee Brewers. He's got our number for whatever reason. But anytime you're playing him against a righty, it's a pretty good spot. So don't hate that. But, yeah, mini stacks realistically only for me in Arizona there. Last game on the slate here. I think this is another game we can speed up here and get back on track. It's Kyle Harrison on the hill, Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan, one of my favorite plays on the entire slate. Twins are in town. Not a great ballpark. Very, very cool weather in relative to the rest of the slate. Low 60s, upper 50s throughout the game here in San Fran. No interest in any bats for me in this game.
Yep. Agree with you. Not stacking anybody in this park. May not even, well, I would say that. I was going to say I wouldn't stack up peak Barry Bonds, but hey, Barry's hit about 75 balls out there in McCovey Cove, so I'll retract that statement. Yeah,
Barry's also did a little bit more of that. I think is not really warranted in terms of being legal in today's world of the MLB era. So hey, Barry's out there, but yeah, not a park that I'm going to for hitters here tonight. So again,
a guy has the little hometown narrative. Sean V always dropping nuggets in here. Got a little hometown narrative. Joe Ryan from San Francisco, right up the street from Candlestick. He used to sell papers outside of the stadium when he was 12. Now he's pitching in the ballpark. Oh, what a night it's going to be for my guy Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I love me some Joe Ryan here tonight before that little Sean V narrative there. So, hey, Sean V, I know we're not on the same page too often, but hey, we're locked arm in arm here tonight with Joe Ryan, it seems, in the chat. So love to see that there. That's all 12 games. Talk pitching, talked hitting. I'll give a little summary here off the top. Spend up night at pitcher for me and an early offense night for me typically is what I'm seeing. I don't like too too many of these late offenses outside the Braves. Not really going to get to that Toronto, Arizona game, that Seattle, LA, or that Minnesota, San Fran. So I'm playing hitters early. I like Joe Ryan a ton late, obviously. And that's kind of my summary of the slate. But how much, if you want to give it your summary of the slate, we'll give our home run calls and then let the people get on with their weekend. And hopefully wake up on Saturday to check out your content and your quick hit and have more money in their DK balance or the FanDuel balance for sure.
Everybody's saying I look 20 years younger. My guy Title's in here saying I look younger. I'm trying to keep up with you, Title. You and Nades, man. Y'all got to keep me young. So I got to shave. Nades picked up the no shave November for me. So I appreciate that, everybody. Jason as well saying I look young, but man, just trying to keep up with you two young bucks. Did you ask me a question? I was so happy to talk to Title. I forgot if you asked me a question.
Oh my God. Keep it in your, your summary of the slate. I gave mine saying early offense for me, one of these pitchers late, and then kind of spend a pitcher over all night. But you tend to agree there. Give your kind of overall summary, and then I'll throw it to you for your home run call as well.
Overall summary, pretty easy. Get you some Cole Reagans, get you some Arizona bats, then you go to the ticket window Friday night, Nades, and get your cash. That's how easy it is. Arizona
bats, all right. I'm not on the Arizona bats, but hey, I did have some interest there. I just like other ballparks and weather more. But hey, Hamwich is rocking. We're in lockstep with some Cole Reagans there, so definitely on the same page there. Who's hitting one over the wall there? Are you going back to Arizona and you picking someone out there? Or you throwing a curveball at the chat here and picking someone else?
No. Speaking of going to the window, you can rest assured this one's going to the bank. This is a lock. Christian Walker, double dip with my boy Michael Toglia batting 7th for the Rockies. Give me some Christian Walker and Toglia. That's going to pay off very nicely. They will both hit a bomb tonight. Make sure you parlay them as well. And thank your boy Ham tonight about 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right, there it is. He's already calling his shot. Take it to the ticket window. Cash those parlay bets there. I'm going to my hometown squad here. Likely going to be batting 4th. Cleanup spot. Willie Adames, 4,600. I think he takes this Routledge character deep in left center field. Give me some Willie Adames. Swinging a good stick. Has been good all season long. Love me some Willie there. So I'm resting my ball cap on my hometown squad here. No homerism there. I do love the Brewers bats quite a bit here tonight. Give me Willie Adames to take one deep there. That's all 12 games. Talk pitching, talked hitting. We got it in 50 minutes despite the late start there. Ham's got to get out of here for a hard stop in 10 minutes, but we made it through. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. And if you haven't heard yet, our NFL package is available now on the website. Early access, best rate in the industry. I'll throw this graphic up on the screen. We're not naming names here on the screenshot. You can go check out the pricing for yourselves across the industry, across these different packages that are other sites that are available in the industry. Charge right now. You see it there on the far left. $299 all access pass to our NFL package. It includes our optimizer as well for the time being. It is going to be an all add-in once that's fully available there. Total comes to $299, and that's not it. There is more early bird bonus. You don't just get the cheapest NFL package rate, best pricing available for the entire NFL season. You also get about a $200 value or $180 value, if you will, for the next until NFL starts. You get all access to our site, our Discord, our UFC. There's a nice UFC card. There's PGA, right? You got a major next week. We've been crushing that. So no better time now. Head over to SHIPITNation.com. You can click that banner right at the top of the website. It'll take you right. Apply the pricing there. If not, if you go to SHIPIT Nation, join now. Use this promo code NFL50. It'll take the pricing down there. But this is the last call there and the best rate right now to join for NFL. That was a lot of words. Rumbled through that as best we could there. But again, hope everyone has an amazing night tonight in the DFS streets. Has an amazing weekend there. Enjoy the weather. Stay safe. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. We'll catch you guys next time.